Welcome back. In this video today, we're going to teach you a couple tips and tricks on how to test your soil quality without any fancy instruments. You don't need anything to measure pH. We are simply looking at qualitative methods in order for us to see and assess the quality of our soil. First and foremost, the number one thing, this is freshly turned over soil. I did this last night, and the first thing we want to look at is the color, right? So you could probably tell it's not the darkest color in the world, so it's not the richest, and you could probably assume, because we are in a vegetable patch, that it regularly gets turned over. So that could be part of the reason why it may not be super dark. However, it still has pretty decent color to it, and the deeper I dig and the more moisture that's in it, the more color that's going to be there. So that's number one, color. You want your soil to be a nice, rich, dark color. Think about chocolate cake. Number two, when we're looking at soil quality, is the texture. So what you want to do is you want to take the soil that you have and put it in your hand and just feel it. See what you have in there. Are there tiny little clods of soil, little aggregates? Are there none? Is it sandy? Is it silty? Does it have more clay in it? So for us, this soil here is actually pretty close to loam. And what that means is there's good amounts of sand, silt, and clay. And I can tell that because you can form it, but it doesn't stay totally formed, right? So if it was clay, it would stay totally formed. If it was sand, it wouldn't form at all. And if it was silt, it would run off my hand. So those are two things, color and texture. Now the third thing, when you get soil, whether you buy your soil from a source, whether that's compost, or you're using the soil in your yard, you turn it over, or you plant directly into it. The third thing to tell the quality of your soil, what you're going to want to do is to take soil, and I try to go deep down, and it's called a ribbon test, right? Sometimes you need water, but sometimes if there's enough moisture in the soil, you don't, right? And you're going to want to roll the soil in your palm like this. Now, as you can see, I have no soil sticking to my hand. That probably isn't a good thing. That's not a good sign. You want to be able to make a nice long roll, right? So that would be the third thing. How does your soil form? And you could see in our soil, we also have debris from other plants. That's important too. So when we're looking at soil and we're talking about soil quality, what we can do in our own backyard and how you can be our soil mate and assess what you have and what you're using in your garden or what you're using that you buy. You take the soil, you look at it, you look at the color, you look at the texture, and you try to see if it's sandy, silty, or has more clay, because those things will tell you the health and quality of the soil, but it'll also tell you what you can grow in that soil. Certain crops like sandy, certain crops like more wet clay-like soils. So the thing we're going to ask you to do is to go into your backyard or wherever you may and assess the quality of the soil around it.